Folks, welcome into the latest edition of SportsbookReview.com's college basketball conference preview with the big men on campus. Today, the Northeastern Conference. Jeff, last year, Mount St. Mary's, LIU Brooklyn, Wagner, St. Francis, the top four teams in that conference. What are we looking at this year? Maybe a favorite to win it. Who would it be?
Yeah, I think that the overwhelming favorite, Donnie, is St. Francis, PA. The Red Flash are hugely picked in this conference, and it's because they have two extremely good guards. Braxton and Blackman are really good. Plus, I mean, last year with them, it was interesting reading about them because they had one of this just hideous road records that, always throughout history they've always had. But last year they kind of fixed it. They were able to started to win on the road. They were kind of ahead of schedule with so many young players. They're the team that I'm looking at. I mean, there's a lot of talent that's left. I mean, LIU Brooklyn lost a lot. Mount St. Mary's got gutted as well. I think the Red Flash have to be the favorite here on a conference that is pretty exciting come NEC tournament time.
What are we taking a look at some dark horses in this? I know a lot of people aren't, too fluent with this conference overall, Jeff. Give us maybe a team or two that can win this conference this year.
Yeah, and I think it's always a team in my heart that I've always really enjoyed, LIU Brooklyn. I mean, you look at one of the largely interesting hires they made at coach, Derek Kellogg. He was brought in from UMass, a guy that had that slick back hair. I know people know who I'm talking about. He brings with him a couple players that he had over at UMass, and they actually bring back a decent backcourt with a kid named Jashon Augusto. They did lose Jerome Frink, which he was a beast down low. He really reminded you of like a tractor trailer, just a big bruising kid. But they're a team that I always like because the conference tournaments hosted by them usually. I think towards the later rounds. I like LIU Brooklyn. They're always a team that I look at in a conference like this, Donnie, which is largely unknown to many. You really look at the top 3 or 4 and kind of just stick with those. Those are usually the teams that are going to come out of it.
And Jeff, we could do a little PSA on this one. Make sure you know which St. Francis you're actually going to be betting on this conference, right?
It's important because, Donnie, it's so amazing you said that because this year St. Francis is the favorite out of PA. The Brooklyn team is the worst team in the conference. So you definitely want to make sure if late in the season when you're betting on this, because they're not going to be lined early on, but if they are against a good team, make sure you're betting on the PA team or the Brooklyn team. As far as kind of a betting strategy here, there aren't going to be many just because, like I said, they're not lined very often. But, something that I'm kind of interested in seeing how it works. Danielle Marshall, the old sharpshooter, actually from Reading, PA, is coaching Central Connecticut State. I know there's been some personal issues for him that he's kind of taken a league of absence away from them. But he's an interesting coach because he's kind of in a way, Donnie, building what Patrick Ewing is trying to do, trying to kind of resurge a program, a small program. He's getting into the coaching ranks. It'll be interesting to see what he does at CCSU. But the whole betting strategy is, hey, kind of just stick with the big teams in this conference, the Mount St. Mary's, the Brooklyns, and the St. Francis, and you'll be all right. Look for this one to really get going in March.
Folks, that's been your Northeast Conference College Basketball Conference preview with SportsbookReview.com, featuring the big man on campus for everything college basketball. Always check out SportsbookReview.com.